For the most part, I like to chill. We miss a lot. We get to miss a lot as baseball players during the season in terms of family, especially now that I'm a dad with a little baby girl. They grow up so fast, and especially at that age, that we go on a week road trip and when we come back, the baby looks different, you know. Moms are incredible, what they have to go through by themselves, and so I like to obviously spend as much time as I can with them in the off season. Mariana's a very good drawer, and Dad is not. And Penelope has really high expectations of drawings now. So whenever Mickey doesn't look like Mickey, it goes like this. In the off season, I feel like I'm a big conscious person. Like if I don't do something on one day, I like feel guilty about it, and I won't stop thinking about it for weeks. And now it's just like, you know what? It's okay. Like I'm with my kid. Like I didn't go hit today because I was tired. I needed that rest day. I needed to recover, and I get more time with the kid. Being able to finally say that baseball is not my #1 priority is a very big deal for me, because I've been doing this since I was 6 years old, and even when I was going to school and I had a big test the next day, it still didn't matter because baseball was all that was in my mind. And all I need to do now is just look at my screensaver on my phone, and it changes my mentality, and I kind of love being a dad. You know, it's not easy, but it's the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. So at the end of the day, like I'm like, man, I feel like I'm a girl dad. Especially in a time where toxic masculinity is so strong, and like there's so many like things going on in the real world, like to be able to like show my daughter like your dad's gonna be your dad and he's gonna love you no matter what, and I'm gonna let her embarrass me, and I'm gonna let her do all these things to me, and it's gonna be okay. I don't really care. I just want you to, as long as you're having fun and you're happy, I'm all for it. And if she wants to be a makeup artist, she can practice on me, you know, she can do all that. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying being a girl dad. I feel like Mariana gets a little bit annoyed because a lot of times she's, you know, obviously she gets to spend more time with her than me, but she's like, oh, she's been going crazy. You need to keep her for a couple hours, and then she's with me and she behaves perfectly. And Mariana's like, why is she doing that with you? But she softens my heart big time. So that's, we all need that every once in a while. The info glove that I'm trying to use this year, I'm trying to break in. It's got the daddy shark on the glove because we're obsessed with baby shark. So of course I'm Papa shark. So I am daddy shark. So it's a nice reminder to, after a tough game, come home and get to your family and seeing that unconditional love, no matter whether you went 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. I've always had it with the dogs, but it's not the same when it's somebody actually calling you dad and things like that. So it's for sure something that's made my career more special. People think that in the off season it's time to just chill and do absolutely nothing, but a lot of times we're getting as much work in as we do in season, because there's a lot of preparation that goes on to get yourself ready for a 162 game season. I got on FaceTime with Pete yesterday, and he was like, that's the biggest difference I see is that. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to put my hands further back so that I didn't have to like force the move to keep the bat there. And the second day that I did hands here, probably the best day that I felt. We're in the zone today, baby. That's a good ball. I've taken pride in becoming a leader, man. This year I understand that it falls in my responsibility to be a little more vocal because we've lost some voices, and that's a role that I've fully embraced, and I think it shows by going all out and becoming a college recruiter for a big league team. And if I could factor in their decision in any way possible and help this team become the best that it can become, I feel like I'm doing my part, and that's basically what I was doing. I was just reaching out to free agents, and whatever questions that you have about the organization, the city, whatever it is, I'm here for you, and hopefully I can help you, you know, make a decision. And that's basically what I've been doing, and it makes me proud to say that I've helped factor in some of the decisions that some of the free agents have made. So it's a pretty cool feeling, and there's nothing we can do in the offseason for the team, and I figured I'd help somehow. Between AC, Haim, and Eddie Romero and JT, it was a very back and forth, and when negotiations started happening, I feel like JT kind of started ignoring my text messages a little bit, and I was like, hey dude, I promise you I'm not gonna let this affect your negotiation in any way, but if you have something from another side, I want to know, because I want to put pressure on them too, and that's basically how it all went down. I can go on and on about JT for hours. For me, coming up with the Dodgers, I had to be a role guy. There was no room for me. They had a huge payroll. They had a team fully loaded with superstars, and my role was to be everybody's backup. At the time, JT was coming off the bench, and in the National League, you get to pinch hit a lot. I struggled mightily at first, pinch hitting, and I was like, man, I don't know how to do this. This is the most, like, it's not just hitting is the hardest thing to do in all the sports, but to be able to have to come from the bench to just get one at bat and you're done. This seems impossible. And JT made it seem so easy. He started helping me out with the pinch hitting and being a role player and all that, and then it became a great friendship, and he's gonna be that guy, that other vocal voice in that locker room. As far as on the field, man, you're gonna get a professional at bat. Every single time he steps into that batter's box, you're gonna get a professional at bat. You're gonna get a guy that likes to put the ball in the air, pull side, and we have a pretty short, high fence in the Green Monster in Fenway, and I think JT is gonna fit just right in Boston, and I think that red beard is gonna look great with our uniform. Man, playing in Boston, I was actually talking to Johnny Gomes. I was like, hey Johnny, how many teams did you play for? He said 6, and I said, which one was your favorite? And he said, the Red Sox. And I was like, obviously, if you don't mind me asking, why? And he shared with me that he didn't really notice it till after he retired, but he was like, dude, you get to play inside a museum every night. And I had never seen it that way. I was like, that's actually very true. We get to play in one of the most historic venues in the nation, in the country, and that's something that I should have never, again, take for granted. So, you know, I understand the responsibility that it takes to wear that uniform on a daily basis, and the electricity, the atmosphere in Fenway, it's tough to match, and I'm a player that is very high energy, and I kind of I go with the fans, and the fans are bringing the energy. It's just gonna bring my energy to 150%, and I'm gonna be bouncing off the wall and things like that. So I feel like I'm a player that thrives off the electricity of the stadiums, and I just think that Fenway was a perfect fit for me. This team is taking great shape. They can expect a team that's going to be gritty, a team that's going to battle it out. It's going to be, I feel like we have a team filled with grinders, and when you have a bunch of grinders on a team, a bunch of guys that are going to be playing with a chip on their shoulders, I think that team can become dangerous. I've done my best in staying in touch with every single guy on our roster this offseason, and I think that's something that I put up on myself to work on, because that's something that, even though it might go unseen, it's something that is a part of having leadership qualities. Is about, you know, keeping everybody together, keeping everybody in touch, and we actually have nothing to lose. Everybody's counting us out. Everybody has us as the worst team in the division, all this, and the way I see it, we have the same chance as everybody else does. If we stay afloat, we battle, we do what we have to do, you know, get to the postseason, and once we get in, anything can happen. We saw it in 21. Nobody expected us to get to the playoffs. Nobody was expecting us to get past the Yankees in the wildcard game. Nobody was expecting us to get past the Rays in the ALDS. All we gotta do is stay in the fight and get in. Once we get in, anything can happen. I'm just really looking forward to this season.